Welcome everyone to the Welpdom, to Welp. Here we are on YouTube. We're happy to host this video. This comes from a supporter of our channel, David. My wife and I used to go see Slaid. I think that's how you say that name. We lived in Austin, Texas, 20 years ago. During the 2020 lockdown, Slaid started doing monthly live streams for tips. This is from his January 2020 live stream. It's a song about Sandy Gray, the man that gave the name to Sandy Gray Rapids in Ontario, Canada. Do you know anything about Sandy Gray Rapids?
My history is pretty bad. I probably know more American history, quite frankly, just because of movies and TV than I do of Canadian history. So Slaid, that's his middle name. I forget his full name, sorry. He goes by that as his middle name. I think he's kind of a folk kind of singer, songwriter, I think. So
okay.
I think that's the vein we're looking at here. But this is kind of cool. So he, of course, during the lockdown, it seems like a lifetime ago, the lockdown. So he's still performing. That's kind of cool, to his fans and his listeners, giving some entertainment for people. It's a really nice thing to do, actually. So it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
This song is called
Breakfast in Hell.
So I'm going to play that archival footage of the radio station recording of Breakfast in Hell from 1999, before Broke Down came out, when the song was still being developed. And we'll play a little montage of Sandy Gray Falls and other famous log jams while we listen to the song. Let's cross our fingers and see if this works. I just happened to be staying with a friend up in Canada last summer and heard this story about a little local legend, and it just sounded like the perfect material for a folk song. Melting snows of Ontario, where the wind will make you shiver. 'Twas the month of May up in Georgian Bay, near the mouth of the Musquash River, where the bears prowl and the coyotes howl, and you can hear the osprey scream. Back in '99 we were cutting pine, sending it down the stream. Big Sandy Gray came to go home Bay, all the way from PEI, where the land is rough and the weather's tough and no one's afraid to die. Sandy came a smiling, 30,000 Islands was a place to claim his glory. Now Sandy's gone, but his name lives on. This is Sandy's story. Young Sandy Gray lives on today in the echoes of a mighty elm. Listen close and you'll hear a ghost in the story that I tell, boys, the story that I tell. One fateful day, Big Sandy Gray came to camp with a peavey on his shoulder, and his big buck saw and a face so raw you'd swear he was 10 years older. Said, come on all you, we got work to do, we gotta give her all we can give her. There's a jam of logs at the little jog near the mouth of the Musquash River. Well, a dozen men and Sandy then ran down to the seething mass. They never had seen one so bad, they knew this could be their last. They poked with their poles and ran with the rolls and tried to stay on their feet. Every trick they tried, one man cried, this log jam's got us beat. But Sandy Gray was not afraid, and he let out a mighty yell. I'll be damned to break this jam, or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell. Well, every one of the men did the work at 10, and Sandy scrambled up to the top. He's working like a dog, even 30-foot logs, and it looked like he'd never stop. Yeah, they struggled on, these men so strong, till the jam began to sway. Then they dove for cover to the banks of the river, all except for Sandy Gray. Now with thoughts of death, they held their breath as they saw their friend go down. They all knew in a second or two he'd be crushed or frozen or drowned. Yeah, they saw him fall and they heard him call just once, then it was over. Young Sandy Gray gave his life that day near the mouth of the Musquash River. And Sandy Gray was not afraid, and he let out a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam, or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell. East Giant's tomb, there's plenty of room, there's no fences, no walls. And if you listen close, you'll hear a ghost down by Sandy Gray Falls. Through the tops of the trees, you'll hear in the breeze the echoes of a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam, or it's breakfast in hell. And Sandy Gray lives on today in the echoes of a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam, or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell.
How much canoeing have you done?
Enough to say I've done it, and I can do it anytime. I can pick up a canoe and canoe very well. Yeah.
On a river?
River? No, I don't think I've ever done a river. That's just lake canoeing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those river shots reminded me, because that rapid obviously is like a significant rapid. And I imagine if you know what you're doing, you could run that rapid in a canoe and not tip over, but you'd have to know what you're doing. I've run some pretty crazy rapids in a canoe, but we had guides to bail us out because inevitably you just go flying if you don't know what you're doing.
I haven't done rivers. No. Just casual lake canoeing.
That's crazy. I didn't know the story of that. Well, obviously it's a true story of Sandy Gray. Kind of reminded me of, on my channel, my natural classroom channel, I'm doing this contest, a story writing contest. There's a little ghost town in Alberta, ghost town of Lille. There's a lot of mystery around the ghost town and why it shut down, and begs for this kind of a thing, like a folk song to tell the story of, how it all went down. And I wonder how much he embellished and like made it up.
Well, the conversations and pieces like that probably, because they're talking. And
it reminded me a little bit of that. I love those older, it's easy to go to the past and pull these little strings of truth and kind of embellish and turn it into something almost spooky and not really horror, but yeah.
Right. It's atmospheric for sure. And that's what I love about folk music. I really enjoy folk music. This is very easy to get into. I think partly why I enjoy it too, my introduction to folk sound was Bruce Springsteen, and Slaid is a fan of Bruce's himself. He's got a lot of different people that I read his Wikipedia page that he's influenced by. And of course, Bruce was one of them. This song would fit right on, ironically, on the album like River or Nebraska. This is definitely that style. Bruce has done this type of singing lots in his career. He definitely does the storytelling because there's no chorus. It's just that strumming, that picking on the guitar the story just keeps moving forward. There's no real chorus, but the title is mentioned a few times as it tells the story. And in that way, I felt I was almost listening to a Bruce cover, which is great for Slaid, that I was able to get right into it right away. As a Bruce fan, I was like, okay, this is very easy to get into. And I love folk music. I love that atmosphere, the storytelling. It's almost like, the time gone by that we'll never experience again. You can't really sing folk songs about today.
Yeah.
About cell phones and apps and TikTok, and folk songs are always about
yesterday.
It's about yesterday, or about a time and place where almost electricity doesn't exist. It has to be about nature, humans and nature, and you just don't get the sense that there's any electricity around you. I don't know how to explain it. A good folk song is just a story. It's usually a human story, and it's a struggle or some sort of, usually can be sad too. Usually it's kind of a sad tale, and that fit right into that. So great job by Mr. Slaid, and I can see why David would be a fan. I would be too. I suspect if I went to a Slaid concert in some theater or what have you, and just listened to him sing and tell stories, I'm sure it'd be a very enjoyable experience.
Yes, I bet he would slay.
No, that pun did not slay at all.
Yeah, another pun to counter my pun. Nice.
This bit has been slayed. Let's continue.
Sorry, Slaid. This is also one of those reactions that, has anyone ever reacted to someone's live stream react?
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Thank you so much, David, for this wonderful request. And we appreciate all the work and all the things you do on our channel. So we appreciate your support.
Yes.
I know you don't always see eye to eye with everything Nathan and I do. So we do appreciate your patience and support with our channel. But it's great. That's why we have our Welpdom. Everyone comes from different backgrounds and things like that. So that's awesome. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Mr. Slaid, if you're watching, thank you.
Yes.
For
And
sure.
hopefully one day we'll see you at a folk festival somewhere. That's what I wanted to throw in there.
Yeah.
See everyone else, though, on the next one.